Namaste and welcome to Wise Owl Career Guide.
Namaste.
Today we have Mr. Raman Krishnan with us, and he is an expert in the field of lighting in various segments, be it household, commercial, or even royal family, requirements. Let's hear from Mr. Raman Krishnan what his journey has been like and how did he start it. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for this brief and nice introduction. I don't think I'll be able to do justice to whatever I've done in this last. Incidentally, this happens to be the 50th year of my graduation as an electrical engineer. So it's a
Wow.
golden jubilee. We passed out in 72 from BIT, Mesra, one of the leading colleges. And I owe a lot to that institution because when I went there, I was just 17. And that's a part of your life. It teaches you a lot of things. And that being an all India institution, I picked up a lot of stuff. Born Keralite, but I speak many languages. And that helped me communicate better with a lot of people. Because I believe communication is an art and you know many languages helps. So I did my electrical engineering, and when we passed out initially, there was a glut of engineers. So anybody and everybody in the family, the boy, the male child, the parents dictate, essentially, become an engineer. What kind of engineering the father, the parents never knew. Because the parents always came from, I don't know whether I should say that, from a colonial background. For them, education was important, but they were not educated. I'm speaking from my personal experience. My dad came to Mumbai in the year 1938 when he was 17. And he just passed out of school. And the rest is history. His journey is a history to me. And he is my first mentor. And he's been my first model. So I remember the day when he dropped me at BIT Mesra. The year was 1967. And the first thing that we saw in the college was riots. Cars were, yeah. And I was the only son of my dad. I have a sister who is about 12 years younger to me. So I don't know how he went back seeing all these things, dropped me there and went back to Bombay. I don't want to even imagine that, because when I left my son for studies in USA, the scene had completely changed. When I left him and I was coming back, I realized what my dad would have gone through, because he had seen a riot, he had seen burnt taxis, glass pieces all over the place in the road. So this is the one lesson I learned, So yeah, coming back to my subject, I had no choice and I did my electrical engineering. But during my fourth year, we had a subject called utilization of energy, like electrical energy, lighting. Lighting was a subject. It caught my attention. And I was studying that. Probably that was a trigger point early days. And that helped me pass in the subject without any problem, because that subject was good. But when we came out of college, we had an issue of excessive electrical engineers, to be precise. And the first preference was given to mechanical engineering. So we came in later. All this, everybody wanted to be mechanical engineer. I also wanted to do it. I never got admission. But I think it was a blessing in disguise. So I became an electrical engineer. And then initially for about 6 years, I was in thermodynamics. I learned mechanical engineering, heat load calculations. But having said that, the most important part of that career was I joined a company. Can I mention names here? I should mention.
Sure, definitely.
I had the privilege and honor of being selected as the frontline sales engineer for a company called Thermax, which is in Pune. It was a very small company. It was called once in India. I became Thermax later. That's where I learned about sales and marketing. Initially. In the year 1976, there were one of the very few companies who understood market research, market intelligence, competition behavior, competitive, how to tackle competition, what to say, what not to say. We were trained. So the training part, it was about 7 to 8 working days in Pune. Every day, the first half was on the subject, how to go about various things. And the second half was on the production floor. So we had to understand what's going on. So that is one of the companies that I admire even today, because if it were not for them, I would not be what I am in my frontline project sales or project execution. Everything was taught to us. There are a lot of companies that were at the beginning stage of their existence in this country, and one of them was Vico Vajradhanti.
Right.
I supplied the first boiler to that company. Same applies to Wockhardt Pharmaceuticals. Same applies to Quality Ice Cream. So all these were, for me, even today, I look at it, I said, wow, what an innings it has been. Then I moved out of that industry. I left them not because something went wrong. I wanted a transfer and change to Chennai, where I live now. My boss said, no, I can't leave you like that. You go after 6 months. I said, by 6 months from now, I will be married. That's why I want to go to Chennai. It sounds strange. The reasons are very different. But I went to Chennai, and later on, in 1980, I joined Philips in India.
Okay.
That was the beginning of one of the most exciting careers as far as my field is concerned. They were the pioneers. They continue with the pioneers today. Though I left them and joined elsewhere and all, but the training that they gave us in lighting, at that time, there was no concept of lighting designers in India. Not at all.
Yes, absolutely agreed.
So nobody knew about lighting, excepting that they went to the shop, bought some tube lights and some bulbs and put it on, and then. But we were taught about. I was in project sales, so the result of our training was different, very different.
Okay.
So 2 years I was in frontline sales for projects. I was based in Coimbatore, and we did phenomenal projects because the area was very vast for me, from entire Coimbatore district to entire Kerala to South Canada. So it was an open.
South Canada.
Yeah, South Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, it's huge territory. So in the first year, out of 365 days, I was traveling for 220 days, and it was my first year of marriage.
Oh wow!
Can you imagine? No, it's good because it taught me a lot of new lessons. And unfortunately, unlike today, communication and travel was very difficult those days. You didn't have so many trains or so many. So we could take any form of transportation and reach the destination. And sites were far away from the city. So, but that taught me a lot of lessons. And I think I had one of the finest innings, because that was the setting up of my career in the lighting industry. Fortunately for me, 2 years down the road, they took me back to my headquarters, Chennai, the place I love even today. That's where I got into lighting design practice. And that is the time when, for the first time in the history of India in lighting industry, Philips set up what everybody is talking about, experiential center. Today, I'm talking about 1983.
Oh wow!
So yeah, we had a special experience center in Chennai on Mount Road, in the heart of the city. So all the fixtures were imported, and that's the time, first time most of the people, architects and designers, could see what accent lighting is all about. First time. Many people have forgotten that. Many people who were part of my mentors, they're no more. And that is a time of my career where I learned a lot of things about lighting. And I had about 8 or 9 seniors whom I could look up to learn few things. Because this is where it's a learning curve. When you meet certain people, what's so good about him? What's so great about him? Why are they this way? Why are they liked by people? Why are they liked by customers? That observation is crucial to.
Right.
And it was around that time Philips did the Asian Games in Delhi.
Okay.
Even today, I remember we were called for our annual sales conference, and that I'm coming to the presentation part. The gentleman who presented that what Philips did in lighting in Delhi was world class. So we established that we Indians could do it. And I always believe that Indians could do anything, provided we have our own confidence levels, and we always think that we are as good as anybody else on this planet. The unfortunate situation, I'm being a little bit candid here, We don't think that way. But the coming generations are different, and it makes me feel proud because they have touched greater heights. So when we saw the presentation, those days we never had computers and instantaneously do some. The gentleman who presented is no more. He died about 6 months ago. I remember his name is Mr. Venkatesh. He placed the presentation from open ground to Neha, the last scene where the floodlights come on. Even when I say I get goosebumps because I couldn't believe on slides, how could they show this? That's a lesson learned. The presentation part of it, what all they underwent. It was we just couldn't do anything but stand up and clap at the end of the presentation because it was so profound. See, that is an inspiring moment for me in my life. Inspiring moment is one of them. Then I went to product development, product quality, and we were directly connected with Holland, which is the headquarters of Philips. And in the year 1989, 90, I resigned from Philips. No reason. Everything was fine. I was doing very well. No reason. Destiny called me and I went abroad. Because I think that was a divine call. That set the whole game differently. I started understanding, even as late as 1994, 95, Dubai also did not have a concept of lighting designers.
Yes, that's what I wanted to ask you, sir, that lighting as a, specialization or even a topic in terms of discussion is something which is still not recognized, the way it should be.
You're right. I'm
Because,
glad you said this.
Yeah, the light in a room makes all the difference in terms of, the energies you create, the ambience that you create. So, how did you decide to make this as your niche specialty?
I will be very honest here. When I went to Dubai, I had no clue how the market functions and I had no training, nothing on that front. India works very differently. You've seen the brand new Philips, we are happy with that. That's how it is. Unlike Dubai, which was just picking up from the 91, 92 was a time that it started picking up to become what it is today. And they hired the best of people. They hired the best of architects, best of contractors, everybody from different parts of the world. There was a mixed culture and a knowledge bank you could pick up from anybody. So I'm coming to that stage where I'm talking about everybody has seen Burj Al Arab, that the sail-shaped hotel, which is called a seven-star hotel. There's a history to that. It was 200 meters into the sea, if people know about that, and it's connected by a causeway to the hotel. And when it was launched, I was there in the first quarter cabin of that site. It was only desert, sand all over the place, nothing else there. There was a shady, one old hotel was there on that road, which I mentioned, I just say shady for many reasons, and that was demolished. Like recently, what we saw in Delhi, the towers came down, the implosion. For the first time that happened in that hotel, and the whole land was barren. And that's where they created that part of Dubai, which is today a crowning glory, and everybody goes to see what that place is all about, and this and that. So when we brought when the gentleman, the architect, I still remember his name, Tom Wilswright, he was a special architect. He came in there, he brought the sample, the model of the hotel. We were stunned. What is this? The shape. I'm used to only square, circles, rectangles, or a polygon. This is different. This is so different. That's where I started picking up a lot of things about lighting. First time the lighting designers were hired, interior designers were hired, which were all specialists. Unfortunately, even today in India, we are not recognized as what we should be, because for them, the ecosystem is such, the architects do not want lighting designers. They think they know everything. Or they say they go to a vendor and vendor will do everything. Lighting is not about light fixtures. Lighting is an art. Everybody speaks about it as a fourth dimension of architecture, but do they really believe that? I doubt. If they believe that, they will hire professional lighting designers. And another
Right.
aspect is whoever has been selling light fixtures claims himself to be a lighting designer. It's not so.
No.
It's not so. A compounder in a specialist doctor's place cannot be a specialist doctor. He's a compounder, right?
Correct.
I'm very candid about it because I'm seeing it. But fortunately, there are some very good customers. I don't want to name them. They have started realizing the significance and importance because lighting designers, apart from designing, they save a lot of money.
Yes.
They save a lot of money for them if the clients trust them because the layers of the ecosystem can be avoided without any problem. I don't know whether you are getting what I'm telling you. There's a lot of layers, and the layers
Yes.
play the role. This is where everything has to change. But coming to the subject of lighting, it's about the design intent. An architect, the first part, the architect comes with the concept. It is a dream. It's not real. He comes
Yeah.
with his dream. And the dream gets accepted because the client also gives a brief about his dream. So the dreams come together and something is created. This is Dubai, basically. Here also it happened in many places. So when that happens, who are the players who come in? One is the architect himself. And he
Yes.
must have a clear understanding of various subjects in architecture. That includes lighting,
Yeah.
acoustics, air conditioning, everything. He has to have basic knowledge and good knowledge.
Yes.
Then you add to that, you have the engineering team, mechanical, electrical, plumbing. Then you have
Yeah.
lighting, acoustics, interior design, so on and so forth. So
Right.
this is how a project works. But when you have an ecosystem that I am a big architect and Neha is a good designer, so I always talk to Neha. We need to have variety. Who is good for a certain purpose? I cannot go
Right.
for a heart surgery to an orthopedic surgeon. No, you get me?
No, you can't.
This
Yes.
analogy is very good. You have to go to heart surgeon, right? So when I say heart
Yeah.
surgeon, there are niche markets like you have hospitality where you have hotels, resorts, and so on and so forth. You have infrastructure, transportation like airports, roads, ports. That's one part. Then you have healthcare facilities. Then you have workspaces. Then you have private
Right.
homes. Then you have retail. In retail itself, mall and the retail spaces, individual retail space. Everything is different.
Absolutely. The
I'm very
requirement and the need is different.
Yes, I am lucky because I could do all these things in my 28 years of my stay abroad.
Oh,
And I
wow.
got into it. I did not say I'm only going to do infrastructure. I'm not good. So with the result, there is a huge application area which I'm familiar with. Lighting basics were taught by Philips. I only added up, and then I had a good fortune of being there, visiting various exhibitions in Europe as well as America. I always
Okay.
preferred USA, and there's a reason for that. Because USA
Yes.
was more into the design aspects of a project than the product aspects. I'm not saying
Okay.
Europeans didn't do it, but Europe's,
Hmm.
it's like, say, when you compare, say you have Mercedes, BMW, or when you talk about America, what do you think? On that ranges, you would say, okay, a Cadillac, a high-end Cadillac.
Yeah.
When you go to Japan, it's different. Toyota,
Yes.
Honda, Mitsubishi, and so on and so on and so forth. So Americans talked about complete design, and architects never did lighting. They always hired independent consultants for each application.
Okay.
So there's a lot of change and variety. So, but they understood the concept of lighting, and the lighting became a design. Lighting design was as early as in the early 50s. We're in
Okay.
2022 now. It's my age almost. So I became a lighting designer much later, say year 1992, 94. Though I was trained in lighting design in Philips in the 80s. But why I'm saying all these things is because understanding the subject becomes important. Here, lighting is not given that importance for the simple reason that uh, it's just a last fit in a project when everybody has spent his
Yeah.
money, but they still want the place to look good. I always tell people, do it the first time. When you design, when your concepts get approved from the architects, that's the time you need these guys, lighting guys.
Right.
because
So, sir, as you said that we're still in the infancy stage of, lighting as a niche being developed in the country. What are the kind of, job scopes that are there for the freshers?
freshers, I think at this point in time, they will be used only as salesmen in the manufacturing industry. Because either they go into the production side, and that's a massive change that's happened in the lighting industry with respect to light sources.
Okay.
Now everything is LED, and everything
Yeah.
is LED has become a bigger game of falsehood, because not many understand that. I come from an era where we had different light sources, and I moved on to LED, so I understand both sides of the spectrum well. But you cannot put this into that and compare. It has got its own characteristics. How to
Right.
utilize those characteristics into your design is key to the success.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people can do their architecture and they can do additional lighting as a course, so they can get into architectural firms. They can become part of the
Okay.
developers.
Right.
But within manufacturing setup, there's still I'm doubtful because it's still restricted to small industries in India,
Okay.
lighting manufacture.
Okay.
That's a flaw.
So,
That's a flaw that happened in the 80s. Okay. And even Philips
okay.
had to change its name at that point in time because we had the fancy idea we cannot have multinationals in this company, blah, blah, blah. So they changed the name and then again it changed. But at that time it was for small industries. Nothing wrong with small industries, but they don't have the bandwidth and the finances.
Right.
Okay, so it's in that stage. There are companies that do good products here, but
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, the situation is. I don't know whether I should be so candid. I will be because it's my industry, so I have to say from experience that this dependence on China and what you get from
Mm-hmm.
China. I will never say China makes bad stuff. No, China makes really good stuff, but our industry people have this idea of buying things cheap, selling it cheap.
Right.
That's one way of doing business. Other
Yeah.
way of doing business is make really good products for India. And here I'm quoting our Prime Minister for India and for abroad. That thought process is coming now. So there is a
Right.
big future there, but it needs to be taught well in colleges.
Okay.
Today, children,
Right.
the next generation kids have no option but to do as an elective in postgraduate architecture, which is rubbish.
Okay.
Which is
Okay.
rubbish.
Yeah. I mean, why isn't it a major part of the engineering course itself?
Yeah, this is one thing I'm talking to my college in BIT Mesra. I said, let
Okay.
it be a subject in architecture, let it have one semester specialist. And
Right.
we can also, there's only not only a subject, people like me can talk about how a project develops, what goes on in a project. So
Yes.
that gives these people what do you call a momentum to enter projects and not. And during our time, we were never taught. We were just
Right.
got on a job and we used to listen here, there, all over, no formal training, excepting what I said earlier in Thermax. They believe that training is a must. It is very, what do you call, forward thinking. Can you believe in 1976 somebody said market intelligence? What intelligence? We don't know.
Yeah.
76. So
Yes.
those kind of training is a must. Training plays a big role. Today, the
Okay.
generation is different because they're all used to computers. You say something, they go to Google and try to say, then argue with you on what Google says. That may not be true.
Yes.
You need to
Yes.
experience. You need to experience everything that you go through. And this is
Great.
where the interaction part comes in. How you look at people, what you learn from them,
Mm-hmm.
what you should not learn from them also is another part.
Yes.
The behavioral
So,
part matters.
right. So, sir, when somebody is starting their career, do you think they should work on a niche right from the beginning or get as much experience before deciding the niche?
No, before deciding that they should go through the basics of whatever field they want to choose. The first point is I will go to the formative years of the children.
Mm-hmm.
We had no choice.
Right.
We were told you'll have to take up engineering. That's it. Parents didn't know what engineering is all about. It happened to me. I mean, I'm talking so much about it happened to me. Um, my son went to do his triple E in Purdue University. After 2 semesters, he said he was brilliant in maths and physics. So I thought it's ideal. Let him go there. He also said fine.
Yeah.
But his interests were very different. So he said to me, after 2 semesters, it's a lot of money spent on. So that's another part of the story. We are not that rich that we can afford anybody. But children education is a must. It's a must for everybody.
Yeah.
So two semesters down the road, he said, Dad, I'm going to go out of this place. I said, what? What happened? I'm going to join Berklee College of Music. I said, what is this college? Berklee College of Music. I don't know about. It's in Boston, I know. He says he teaches music production and high level about the fine arts form of music.
Okay.
So I asked him, what are you going to do? Are you going to create a band or something? My knowledge was so poor, huh? And I'm talking about late 90s, you know. So
Yeah.
he said, Dad, you're insulting me. I said, why are you saying that? I don't know what you're talking about. He says, you know something, if I have to get into the college and get admission, I need to be a musician. I asked him,
Okay.
are you a musician? I didn't even know that part of the story. He said, yeah, I got trained in Indian classical music. You know, I'm a singer. I said, okay. Will they give you admission? He said, yeah, that's my problem, not yours. He said that to me. That's not your problem. That's my problem. And he
Okay.
joined Berklee College of Music. And there he learned. And then from there beyond, he went into music production. Then he did his acoustics, masters in acoustics. So when he did his sound engineering, he felt he still had to do something because he said, there's a high-end theater coming up. Acoustics
Right.
plays a role. So I need to understand architectural part of acoustics. And so lighting became an essential part of that as an elective. So he came into lighting by, everybody says, you must have forced your son to do lighting. I said, no, it is his choice.
Right.
But he knew what I used to talk about lighting every time at home. And everything is decorative and everything is subtle. So what lighting does, they used to listen to my conversation with various people. So it worked that way. So that's how people need to have fundamental education on whatever field. It could be architecture, and parents play a big role. They need to observe what are the likes and dislikes of the children. Whether
Okay.
they want to become an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer, what are they good at? I'm not sure if parents observe those kind of things in today's generation. I'm not sure. I don't want to comment because it will be blasphemy. I don't want to do that. So, so I want to be very clear about that. So, but it's a must. And guide
Right.
them in that direction or find people who can guide them. Because among friend circle, we have a variety of people doing various things and experience done well for themselves in life. Talk to them.
Right.
So that's what will work. And once you decide what course they want to take, you should they should do the basics. If they do architecture, specialize in the post architecture, specialize in certain areas. Interior design similarly, engineering similarly. So that will help them. And then they should join some place and training will be fine. So today there's a lot of opportunities available online as well.
Right. So, sir, if I were to ask you one tip for, any fresher to be successful in their career, what is that one tip, one thing that they should always keep in mind and it will help them grow?
What they would like to do in their life. What is their passion?
Okay.
See, if somebody is a good singer, for example, I say, no, you're not going to do singing, you're going to do your engineering. That person is going to fail.
Okay.
Passion, what do you like to do in the first place? That plays a major role in where you develop. If you notice some kids, they like to speak, they go for debates, they argue. So don't put them in any other direction other than what they want to do. Probably they want to
Right.
be in journalism, or they want to be lawyers. They'll be very good. Their thought process, their thinking. How do they think? Critical. Similarly,
Okay.
some people are towards fine arts. You can hear them sing or dance gracefully in a small, young age. Train them in that direction. Basic education is a must. They have to just pass. I used to ask my children when they come back, Dad, exam is over today. So my question to them, will you guys pass? He said, Dad, what is this question? Yeah, for me, what you get, marks is not relevant because what happens after that is relevant. So if you pass, first stage crossed, rest will follow. But fortunately, they all were in the first 10 as toppers in their respective fields. So they're doing very well. So the question is parents' flexibility and the passion of the children will play a very big role in what they become. Never force anything.
Okay.
Never force anything on them.
Sure. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir, and sharing your experience and insights. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and very nice. Thank you very much for uh, making me speak. I don't know whether I said the right things. I spoke from my mind, from my heart. That's all I can say. And the no holds barred as far as I'm concerned. It's not, see, I want to see India grow in a big way,
Absolutely.
personally. And I share the vision of our country. And we have everything in our favor for that. How we do it is within us. Nobody can do anything, change it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
So that was Mr. Raman Krishnan sharing with us his journey of more than 4 decades in the corporate world and how he decided after his electrical engineering to specialize in the field of lighting and the various steps and learnings he has had over the years and how he made it his own passion. And what he said, that one thing that you need to remember is whether you like what you're doing. If you don't like, very high chances of you not succeeding in your chosen career. Always choose what you like doing, what you enjoy doing. Only then you will be able to give your 100% and succeed in that field. If you have any more questions that you want to know about this particular field, do write to us in the comments below and we'll get back to you. Do also share, like, and subscribe the channel. Thank you.